Okay, let's look at what you said. If I don't remember exactly, but something comes up, you're able to see it, right? Something comes up as me, I'm able to see it as an object in me. Then I'm able to work with it as an object in me. Then I'm able to do some loving kindness with it as an object in me. I mean, there's always that differentiation of the observing mind, which has clarity and discernment and compassion, and to work with all that. And it will transmute, emotions can be transmuted. And especially when a person's meditation reaches a level of dissolution, where they've developed the method enough to get into dissolution pretty easily, then everything that arises, the moment you differentiate and observe it with mindfulness, it's already dissolving. It might sooner or later, but it's going away. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So from that point of view, you can't do therapy. If something comes up, you differentiate and observe it like a good meditator, like we do we can practice for years to learn how to do this in meditation, but eventually all these things will just dissolve. You could come back and dissolve. The aggression comes back, it dissolves. You can get to the point where you just dissolve aggression away if you have the right conditions, the good time to solve it away. Now and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's different than, let's say, aggression comes up and I go to a therapist and they say, yeah, this aggression's coming up. And the therapist says, well, that's interesting. I'll take a very stupid example, but let's punch the pillow. Now tell me about the aggression. They in some container, let's allow ourselves to be aggressive. Tell me about it. What do you want to say? Shout, scream, piss, fuck, mother, all the stuff. Just let it out. Because if it's suppressed, and if the aggression that's coming up is from a suppression, the only way to move it from the unconscious place to the conscious place is to identify as it. Mm-hmm. Now, let's say I have a suppressed issue and it brings up a lot of aggression, I can meditate with that aggression. Really, I can learn a lot about the aggression, but the aggression is actually an effect of what's suppressed. So for example, this is just an example. What's really happening under the aggression is that I'm really sad because I lost something or whatever, abandonment issue, whatever. So to get to that real root cause, I have to stop detaching and observing with mindfulness. But actually I have to go into what might be there with mindfulness. Again, mindfulness is everything. Mindfulness is everywhere, but it's going into the issue. Now, there are spiritual traditions like Osho, they do a lot of this stuff, yeah. But traditionally in Buddhism, they don't. And for you and me, and I think most people on this call, we need to do both. We really need to do both. We want to be as healthy as possible because this stuff's coming up anyways. We want to do both. And that's the main point about this whole thing. We want to do both. But Buddhist psychology never identifies with those things. Remember, aggression is an unwholesome mental state that needs to be purified. Greed, hatred, delusion are defilements in the mind. 100% of the suffering in the world is caused by these defilements in the mind, and we want to purify them. Let's get right to the source and purify them. And then when they become purified, we transcend. But they do, I guess, that at the very higher stages of awakening, they don't come back. But in the meantime, they will come back. Greed, hatred, and delusion, they don't disappear with a lot of meditation. They weaken. We certainly have more space. They're less operating us. But if there's any psychological issue that's split, that might also be the cause of greed, hatred, and delusion, then to get to that, we have to just do different methodologies. That's all I'm saying. And an integrated practice would not only make subject into object, but make object into subject.